In the years afterward, superhero films have grown in popularity, with billion-dollar hits following one another. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is one of the most well-known franchises in the world, and Warner Bros. Is attempting to match it. And we're here to break out the top 10 highest-grossing superhero movies of all time. Before we get any further though, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring that notification bell to get notified about our latest videos. Okay, now back to the list. At number 10, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Spider-Man: Far From Home is not just one of the most successful superhero films of all time, period. Skyfall has previously held the record for the studio, but Tom Holland's second solo outing as Peter Parker beat out Daniel Craig's third outing as 007. The sequel made $1.13 billion worldwide, thanks in part to its status as the first MCU film released following Avengers: Endgame. At number 9, Aquaman. Aquaman has been the brunt of numerous jokes for years. He was just a wacky superhero who could communicate with fish. But DC Comics worked hard to change that image, and Jason Momoa's casting as the character in Justice League was a huge assist. So much so that when Momoa made his solo film directed by James Wan, it surpassed all expectations. Aquaman was a great success, grossing $1.14 billion worldwide. At number 8, Captain America: Civil War. Given all that has happened in the Marvel Cinematic Universe since then, it's easy to forget that Captain America: Civil War was a huge deal when it came out in 2016. It not only covered a classic Marvel Comics plot, putting the Avengers against each other, but it also featured the largest number of superheroes we'd ever seen in one film, not to mention Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther and Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It was a recipe that had shown to be successful. The Russo brothers directed a massive, audience-pleasing blockbuster that grossed $1.15 billion worldwide. At number 7, Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 was released in 2013, just 5 years after Robert Downey Jr. made his debut as Tony Stark in 2008's Iron Man. Although RDJ's time in the MCU was far from over, this would be the pinnacle of his character's solo appearances. Director Shane Black's introduction to the franchise was a huge smash, riding high on the popularity of The Avengers, which was released a year prior. Even while it remains divisive after all these years, it's clearly a commercial blockbuster, grossing $1.21 billion at the box office. At number 6, Incredibles 2. Despite not being ripped from the pages of Marvel or DC, Pixar's The Incredibles nailed the essence of superheroes masterfully in 2004. After a long delay, filmmaker Brad Bird returned in 2018 with Incredibles 2. For Disney and Pixar, the wait was well worth it, since the results were spectacular. The sequel flew to $1.24 billion at the box office, riding a tide of great praise. As a result, it is one of the highest-grossing animated films of all time. At number 5, Black Panther. It would have been tough for anyone to foresee how huge of a hit Black Panther would be. In Captain America: Civil War, Chadwick Boseman made quite the impression as T'Challa. Nonetheless, the character's first solo outing was a huge hit to say the least. At the box office, Black Panther grossed $1.34 billion. It is the most successful solo superhero film in history. It was also the first superhero film to get an Oscar nomination for Best Picture. At number 4, The Avengers: Age of Ultron. Avengers: Age of Ultron has the wondrous burden of following up 2012's The Avengers with Avengers: Age of Ultron in 2015. From now until eternity, people will argue about how successful it was in terms of plot. However, from a business standpoint, Disney and Marvel Studios have again scored a major victory. The second great superhero team-up opened with a record $191.2 million domestic opening weekend, its route to a $459 million domestic total. The film grossed $1.4 billion worldwide after grossing $943.8 million domestically. At number 3, The Avengers. It's difficult to overestimate the significance of 2012's The Avengers. This was the first time something like this had been attempted. To say the least, it was a major gamble. Is it possible? Is there any way to make that happen? It's completed and it worked. To the excitement of specters across the world, the Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man finally linked up. Marvel's great experiment brought in a total of $1.51 billion all over the world. At number 2, Avengers: Infinity War. If the Avengers demonstrated what was possible in the world of superhero films, Avengers: Infinity War pushed boundaries. Thanos has finally arrived to wreak havoc on the MCU, after first appearing in a post-credits sequence years ago. After directing Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Captain America: Civil War, Joe and Anthony Russo were charged with stitching together different stories, characters, franchises, and raising the stakes dramatically, and it was super effective. The Russo brothers succeeded, and Infinity War became a must-see event for everybody who had casually followed the MCU. It was just the fourth film in history to gross more than $2 billion at the box office, with a total of $2.04 billion. And finally, at number 1, Avengers: Endgame. In 2019, Avengers: Endgame gave fans the closest thing to a conclusion that this universe has ever seen. Picking up where Avengers: Infinity War left off, the film marked the end of a long journey for many of the MCU heroes we've been following for more than a decade. Thanos' rule of the universe's main villain came to an end. It was hugely ambitious in terms of scope, duration, plot, and just about everything else a big-budget film can be. Avengers: Endgame grossed $2.797 billion globally after everything was said and done. So guys, that's it for this video. What do you think about our list? And let us know in the comments down below. If you are new to our channel, be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell to get notified about our latest uploads. Thanks for watching!